Chapter 1. More peanuts? She must have been the oldest flight attendant in the world, and she hovered over me with a look on her heavily made-up face that said, "Poor kid, traveling alone. Maybe some extra peanuts will cheer him up." "No thanks," I said. "We might have an extra chocolate chip cookie up in first class. They're warm." "That's okay. I'm fine, really." "Well, just let me know if you need anything," she said, and moved down the aisle with perfect balance. I appreciated the sympathy, but it really wasn't necessary. Why? Because I was on my way to Hollywood, soon to be a star. The way I saw it, one day in the not-so-distant future, that veteran flight attendant would be sitting in some airport lounge talking about the good old days of aviation when this face would come on the TV screen. He'd look familiar. A skinny 12-year-old with sandy blonde hair. Suddenly it would hit her that the boy she'd offered extra peanuts and a first-class cookie to was none other than Tyler Stewart, television star. I was about to spend the next couple of weeks with my Uncle Pete. Pete is a writer on the most popular show on television, Kids in the House. If you haven't seen it, you've been living in China or on a desert island, or your parents are public television pledge drivers who only allow you 2.5 hours of educational programming a week. Kids in the House is a half-hour sitcom about a good deed-doer couple who can't have kids of their own, so they adopt strays from all over. These are kids that nobody else wants, like when you go to the pound and get all mushy for the ugly mutt with the broken leg and sad eyes who's pressed himself into the corner of his cage. Then you take him home and find out that he also does stuff like eat paint and turn your shag carpet into his own personal pea pond. You still love him, but you never know what kind of trouble he's going to get into next. That's sort of what it's like with these kids. People who write comedy like my Uncle Pete call it hijinks. The show's been on for half of forever, and every year some kids leave and some new ones come into the cast. I figured myself to be a natural for the show. First, I'm funny. Really. Not an obnoxious class clown who'd do anything for a laugh, but someone, as they say in the business, with great comedy skills. I can do imitations and come up with funny things to say at just the right time. All right, not too many people know how funny I am yet, but I crack myself up on a regular basis. In my head, I'm a scream. Second, my uncle's a writer on the show. He's the one who taught me my first joke. Here it is. 2 flies are in the kitchen. Which one's the cowboy? The one on the range. I know, it's a groaner, but hey, it was my first joke. Third, for the next 2 weeks, I'm practically an orphan myself on account of my dad being too busy to look after me while my mom's vacationing in Cancun, Mexico with her new boyfriend, Raphael. Talk about groaners. Don't get me wrong, both my parents give me plenty of quality time. The quality with my mom is usually worry. At any minute, I expected the phone on the back of the seat in front of me to start ringing. "Just making sure you're okay, honey," my mom would say, trying not to sound like the worrywart she is. You should have seen her at the airport. "This is the first time he's ever traveled alone, so could you please keep an eye on him? He's been going through an asthma phase for the last few years, ever since the divorce," my mom said, giving more information than anyone needed to know, as always. "His inhaler's in his bag. It's the Chicago Cubs bag. Here's my cell phone number. If for some reason that doesn't work, I also wrote down my phone and pager numbers in Chicago, as well as my email address. I'll be arriving at the Sonora Hotel in Cancun at about 9 o'clock tonight. I wrote that number down, too." No wonder the oldest flight attendant in the world was trying to comfort me with peanuts and warm chocolate chip cookies from first class. The main quality my dad offers is exasperation. He'll say stuff like, "I can't believe my kid got a C in math," or, "Why do you want to waste your time playing computer games when it's a beautiful sunny day?" Or this one, which makes me want to cry or scream or both. He'll knock on my head and say, "Hello, is anyone in there? Earth to Tyler, Earth to Tyler." I really hate that. I was supposed to spend the last 2 weeks of August in performing arts camp, but the session was canceled. As I mentioned earlier, my dad, his name is Frank, by the way, told my mom, hers is Laura, that there was no way he could take me in. Big trip to Minneapolis, big client, big fight. My Uncle Pete had always told my mom that if she was in a pinch, he'd look after me. I don't think he ever expected my mom to exercise her pinch clause, since letting me out of her care is like getting one of the tigers at the Bronx Zoo to give up steak. Fortunately, she has a new therapist who urged her to take this vacation. "The separation will be good for both you and Tyler," were Dr. Von Headshrinker's precise words. It was all fine with me.